Yo, this is Jay from Straight Smoke Gaming, and in today's video, we're bringing you a mock draft. It is not my mock draft, though that'll be later, closer to the NFL draft. This is going to be Madden's mock draft. So what I did is I went ahead, fixed up the draft so that way everyone's picking in the right order that they're supposed to pick in. Sim the draft, basically going to see who Madden has going where, and we're going to talk about if it's realistic. And at the end, I'm going to give a grade on it, and we're going to see what we think. I'm going to ask you guys to leave a comment. Tell me what you think of how they do. But yeah, I mean, this was a very interesting thing. I recommend doing it if you are really into taking a look at the draft and stuff like that. I had a lot of fun doing this. Obviously, the more times you do it, you'll get different results. Because that's how it goes. But first, overall here, we have the Carolina Panthers taking Myles Murphy. There is not a shot this happens. They are obviously going quarterback, so not a shot this happens. Next up, second overall, we have the Texans taking Bryce Young. And yes, there is a chance this happens. I mean, they're taking a quarterback, whether it's him or someone else. I mean, Madden's on with this pick. They know what they're doing, so this is a realistic pick. Next up, third overall, we have C.J. Stroud to the Cardinals. Makes zero sense to me. They have Kyler Murray. I don't know why they would waste this pick on another quarterback. So this is what I'm talking about. Makes no sense. Very interesting here. I do not know what Madden is going off of. Fourth overall here, the Colts are going to end up taking Will Anderson. And I mean, while this is possible, I don't see this happening. The Colts need a quarterback. The Colts will go quarterback with with that high of a pick. So not realistic at all. Fifth overall here, the Seahawks are going to take Tyree Wilson's. This is something that is actually realistic. I 100% could see this happening. He is very athletic. They need help on the defensive line, so I 100% agree with this pick. Very realistic pick here for Madden. Sixth overall, we have the Detroit Lions taking Peter Skoronski. Reason I have this as no, it's not realistic, and the reason is he is not even the best tackle. I mean, I rank Broderick Jones and Paris Johnson ahead of him. So I do not understand why they would do that. And then take him at 6 doesn't make any sense. Next up, the Raiders are going to take Jalen Carter. I have this as a realistic pick because I could see him falling because of the issues he has had since the national championship game. And the Raiders need help on the defensive line. So that's why I have this as a realistic pick. Next up, 8th overall, we have the Falcons taking Anthony Richardson. This is not a realistic pick. Honestly, I don't think he will even be there. So that's the main reason I have him there. And they have came out and said that they are not interested in a quarterback. They're going to ride it out with Desmond Ridder. Next up, 9th overall, we have the Chicago Bears taking Luke Van Ness. And no, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's good, but he is not 9th overall. At this point, you just got to take best available. And he is not best available. There is no shot this happens. 10th overall, we got the Philadelphia Eagles taking Devon Witherspoon. He's personally my favorite corner. I could 100% see this happening just because the secondary is not exactly young in Philly. Next up, 11th overall, we have the Tennessee Titans taking Broderick Jones. I have this as, yes, it's realistic. I mean, they're a run-heavy team. It makes sense for them to go get another tackle, especially with the loss of Taylor Lewan. So, yes, I have that making sense. 12th, we got the Texans taking Michael Mayer. No, there's not a single shot this happens. They just went and signed Dalton Schultz. Why would you waste a 12th overall pick on a tight end that wasn't even projected to go that high? Next up, 13th overall, we have Paris Johnson Jr. going to the Jets. And I have, yes, this is a realistic move. It is one of the positions of need for the Jets. So that's why I got that as a realistic pick. And honestly, I would kind of think that would be a good scheme fit there. Next up, 14th overall, we got the Patriots taking Jordan Addison. This is not even close to being accurate. There is no way that he goes 14th overall. There is no way he's the first receiver taken off the board. I mean, at best, he's 3. I even see people that rank Zay Flowers ahead of him. So there is no shot he goes 14. There's no shot he's the first guy that comes off the board for the wide receiver position. Next up, number 15, Nolan Smith to the Green Bay Packers. I have this being I could see this happening. I mean, he had a really good combine, upped his draft value, and I could see a team like the Green Bay Packers looking at that and taking a chance at that. So I think this could honestly be a really good fit, and I think that is a realistic spot. 16, we have the Washington Commanders taking Dalton Kincaid, and no, I mean, the way, like, just no. He's good, don't get me wrong, but he is not 16th overall. It is really not a position of need for the Washington Commanders, so just there's no chance this happens. I mean, he'll be there later in the rounds. If they really like him, they could trade back up. 17th overall, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Brian Breezy. No, I mean, not a position need. 1, 2, I personally think this is way too early for him, so I just don't know why the Steelers would go about this. I think the Steelers are 100% going corner, so I mean, just doesn't make sense to take a defensive lineman here with this pick. 18th overall, we have the Lions taking Christian Gonzalez, and this is not a realistic pick just because of the fact of he will not be there at 18. There's people that rank him ahead of Devon Witherspoon, and I was reading tonight that people have Devon Witherspoon being a top 10 pick, a lock, so there's not a chance that happens. Number 11 or 19th overall, Will Levis to the Buccaneers. While I do think the Bucs could be in a situation to go get a top quarterback in the draft, it will not be at pick 19. I mean, there's too many teams that are in need of a quarterback. This guy is not going to fall. I mean, don't get me wrong, he might fall, but not to 19. There will be a team that trades up to get him if he does fall, but I mean, it's possible the Bucs go and get him, just not at pick 19. So for that, I'm going to say it is not a realistic pick just because they drafted him at the position that they did. 20th overall, we got the Seahawks taking Jackson Smith-Njigba. I have this being a yes. I mean, if he falls, which he might because of the concerns about his speed a little bit, I think this should be a good move. Tyler Lockett's only getting older. He's a very different type of receiver than DK Metcalf. 21st overall, we have the Miami Dolphins, but the Miami Dolphins pick is forfeited. So what I did is, since you're in Madden and you can't go through and forfeit a pick, I went in and I just drafted the worst quarterback available, just because he's definitely, he's projected to go undrafted. He will definitely not be a pick. We don't want to take someone that could potentially be a pick for someone else team. So that's why I have that going there. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up of what is going on. But back to the video. 22, we have Kalijah Kancey going to the Chargers. I think this is a good move. The Chargers, they struggle on the defensive line outside of Joey Bosa. So I think they could potentially go this route, and I think he would work out really well there. 23rd overall, we got the Ravens taking Joey Porter Jr., and now 100%, if he goes there, if he falls, good pick. But I just don't see that happening. I do not think he will be available at that pick, so for that, I'm going to have to mark this as a not realistic. I mean, I do like the move. I do think he would work out well in Baltimore. I really don't think there's going to be a chance that he is there. Number 24 overall, we got the Vikings taking Brian Branch. And the reasoning that this doesn't make sense to me is they just wasted a first-round pick last year on Lewis Seen, who is a safety. So why are you taking another safety in the first round? It doesn't make sense to me. So for that, I got it being a no. Don't get me wrong, Brian Branch is really good. I mean, he's got that safety slot combo, but just no. Next up, number 25, we have the Jaguars taking Anton Harrison. I think this is a very good move. I could totally see this happening. The Jags are going to go offensive line. They just lost their best offensive lineman to free agency, so whether they go tackle or whether they go guard here, I don't know. I could totally see them going offensive line. So for that, I'm just going to say yes, this was a realistic pick. Next up, we got the Giants taking Dante Banks with the 26th pick. I do like this move. Same thing with Joey Porter. I think this would be a good move if he's there, but it's a big if, and I don't think that he will be there. Next up, number 27, we got Bijan Robinson going to the Cowboys, and my reasoning as to why this is not realistic is because, sure, they just lost Zeke, but they are all in on Tony Pollard. Why would you use a first-round pick on a guy that's only going to cut into Pollard snaps? So with that being said, no, I don't have this being realistic. Plus, they use a first-round pick on Zeke. I don't think they're going to go down the same path and do that again and get a guy like Bijan Robinson. Next up, number 28, we got Darnell Wright going to the Buffalo Bills. I really don't see this. I don't understand this. Darnell Wright, don't get me wrong, he's good. He's a good player. I just don't know if he can sneak into the first round over some of these other guys that are there. Like what you see the Bengals will do next. This is definitely a guy that should have went before Darnell Wright. But I mean, hey, this is what Madden thinks. This is all simulation. But like I was saying, no, not realistic. Next up, number 29th, we got the Bengals going and getting protection for Joe Burrow. Jones out of Ohio State, 100%. I could totally see this happening. It probably is a little bit of a reach, but they got to go protect Joe Burrow. So I 100% could see this happening. I have this marked as a realistic pick. They will go offensive line. There's no doubt about it. Next up, 30th overall, we got the Saints taking O'Cyrus Torrance, and I do like this pick. The Saints are in a rough spot where they have a lot of good pieces, but they don't have the money. So could I totally see them getting a young guy to sit behind someone? Yes, and I think this is exactly what they'll do. 31, being honest with you here, I don't even know this guy. Not realistic at all. Never even heard of him. I went and looked. He's mocked to be like a day 3 guy. Like he's nothing special, but they have him going here in the first round to the Eagles, 31st overall. No shot that happens. This will not happen. I've never even heard of this guy. I don't know how he gets into the first round. Next up for the Kansas City Chiefs, 32nd, they got them going Trent Simpson. Just no. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a good linebacker. I just don't see the position in need. You just lost Juju. I feel like you got to go wide receiver there. But, I mean, hey, like I was saying, it's a simulation. This is what Madden thinks. We will be having a recap coming up here in a couple seconds here, so you can take a look if you missed any of the picks. But yeah, like I was saying, it's a Madden simulation. This is what Madden thinks. I'm just giving you guys what my opinions are and how good I think it was. So as you can see there's the mock draft. And as you can see on the other side, my grade for this is going to be a D. There was some legitimate picks that I was like, wow, that could happen, but too many that were just like, no way. So like I was saying at the beginning, go ahead and comment down below. Let us know what you think of this mock draft. I had a lot of fun doing this video, but that's about all we got in this video. If you enjoyed, please remember to like and sub for more Madden, GTA, and Red Dead content, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.